Welcome back. This is part 2 of the Breakout tutorial using Construct 2. Right, last time we set this up, I don't really need these white bricks here, so first I'll get rid of them so they don't overlap. Now, one of the great things about Construct is you can add pre-programmed behaviors to send you some time in coding. For instance, the walls, I'm going to right-click, go down to Behaviors. I'm going to add a solid behavior because the walls are solid. The ball, I'm going to add a couple of behaviors as well. Balls will also act like solids, but the balls will also travel under their own velocity. So I'm going to add the bullet behavior. Bricks are kind of interesting. I'm going to add a couple of behaviors to them as well. They also act as solids. However, I want them to disappear in a cool way, so I'm going to add the fade behavior as well. Now the paddle, I could treat that like a solid as well, but I want some more customability, so I will play with that later in the event sheet. Going down to ball, 400 pixels a second is a little bit too quick. I'll set that to 200. I want the ball to fall a little bit under its own gravity. I'll set that to 3 pixels per second. And I do want it to bounce off of solids. So I'll change that to yes. Now the bricks, I don't want them to fade right away, so I'll switch that to no. I want them to fade out away quickly when they do, so I'll set that fade out time to half a second. Now, under the event sheet, I don't really have much to interact with yet. I'll do one more thing. Right-click, insert a new object. I'm going to insert the mouse, which means it'll let me interact with my mouse. It's now available. Okay, I'm going to add events. The first event I'm going to add is what's going to happen every run of the game loop, every tick. The action I'm going to add, I'm going to take the paddle. I'm going to set its x-coordinate to, well, I'll go over here. If you mouse over this window, you get access to the expressions. I'm going to set the paddle's x-coordinate to whatever's the mouse's x-coordinate is. This means wherever I move my mouse, the paddle will go there as well. Second, if a ball collides with a brick, I want something to happen. What's going to happen? Well, a couple of things. First, I'm going to start its fading behavior, which is going to cause it to fade out. Also, when it collides with a brick, I don't want it to accidentally collide a second time. So I'm also going to say brick. I'll go down to its solid behavior, and I'll set its state to disabled. That'll cause it to fade away. Next, when the ball interacts with a paddle, when you're playing a Breakout or Construct style game, well, it doesn't bounce off necessarily the way you might think it should. So whenever the ball overlaps with a paddle, what I want to do is manually set its angle of motion. Now in Construct, 270 would be straight up because the y-axis points down. 90 degrees is down, 180 is left, 270 is up. But depending on how far along the ball hits the paddle, if it hits on the left side or the right side, I want to be able to change that angle. So after testing, I found the following formula works pretty well. I'm just going to enter these manually rather than clicking on the events. It's a little bit quicker. Let's see. Paddle.width, oops, divided by 2. So what this expression does, this expression I've highlighted, ranges from -1 to +1, depending on how far along the ball is on the paddle. Alright, is there anything else I need to do? Let's test. And look at that. So notice if I hit the ball on the left side of the paddle, it has a very left angle. If I hit it in the middle, it goes up. If I hit it in the right, it goes to the right. So now our Breakout game is interactive. That's fantastic. But part of the fun of Breakout is adding things like power-ups. So we'll do that next. Woohoo!